not been live for a long time. So, yeah, there may be some changes that I have made to the physical appearance. So, I'm going to be a little bit short haired just because where I'm currently at um, locally is very hot. So I had to trim down because if I had my long hair in this type of weather, I would be having a hard time trying to keep cool. But anyway, uh, we are doing a live for my lovely Aquariuses. And again, this is Jacob Palmer live with you guys. If you want to join in on our live as either an Aquarius or by my lovely binge watchers, feel free to be here. But other than that, let's get into it. Any watchers of my channel here somewhere around here? I know there are some that are just starting to join in. So if you'd like to comment down below, say hi, you know, maybe even a little bit of a welcome statement, you can feel free to do so. Let's see what is up for our Aquariuses at this very point in time. So our very first card for you Aquariuses is this card right here. The Two of Cups. If you are maybe seeing some kind of maybe premonition of maybe your deepest connection, this could be of resonance to you. Or maybe, if not, maybe it could be some kind of connection to maybe a job that you wanted, maybe a vehicle that you wanted, a house that you wanted, anything that is of wanting that has been lingering around for a long time now. I see that it is approaching you. And remember, do not take this with the grain of salt because sometimes it could happen in a different pathway or maybe just in a way that maybe you're not familiar with, or maybe something that you've just been waiting for, and maybe something occurs afterwards. But anyway, just know that what I say may not be picture perfect for all of you, even though that it may be definitely along the line of what you're doing or what you're receiving. So just keep that in mind, because I know what you receive may be a bit different. Anyway, I am seeing a couple of comments on our live. How are you doing, Rajan? How are you doing today? Thank you for being here. Rajan Rin said, what are we on? I missed out. We are currently on the Aquarius reading. So, yeah. And feel free to be here if you are one of my binge watchers. So I'm not afraid of you guys being on, or maybe even worrisome in some way, because I actually am very happy to see all of you once again, because we've been on a very, very tight personal schedule for a long while. So I do want to thank you for being around. We do also have Marina. Marina is here. Thank you for being here, Marina. We also have Johnny. Thank you for being here, Johnny. Um, Johnny said, and we gonna do some SMH. You know, there's there's um there's like something going on after this Two of Cups that I feel like may be helpful for you, Johnny. Um, because for some reason my guides are wanting to express it to you. Um, I feel like somebody is having some kind of an issue trying to receive something about you, or trying to figure out, how you're getting through from where you've been to where you are now. This is just for you specifically, Johnny. This card right here, the Nine of Swords in reverse. So just know that somebody could be trying to figure out, what you're all about, why you're moving up ahead, things like that. Like somebody that could be um, kind of eyeballing the direction that you're going. So that's what I'm getting about this for you. This card right here is not for all Aquariuses. This is just only specifically for you, Johnny. So then you can pick it up for your own self. AT came in saying, "Are you related to Haggard?" You know, I actually really did like the actor who played Haggard in Harry Potter. He was actually very well spoken, not just as a character, but as an actor himself. There was a lot of stuff that he was spewing out to everybody, trying to tell people like, "Hey, look, times are changing. We gotta adjust to the adjustment." Not in the way of how we once were, or maybe even as like the way of like trying to take in the wrong, things like that. It's more like, moving on in the way of, seeing yourself as, like, for example, going from AT version 4 to AT version 6, or version 5, depending on what version that you're going towards next. It's like, taking you from the version that you were, where it's like, maybe, for example, you know, maybe you're just into scientific stuff, and now all of a sudden spiritual altitude and aptitude is like coming forward to you, and you're just like, what? So the world's not just only science. That's what's coming to you. Not you specifically, AT, but maybe a certain type of people out here, either on this live, maybe even some of the people that you guys are dealing with in life. Maybe it could be even like a long time distance friend of yours, or maybe somebody that you knew of. You know, it's not just going to be centered only just around you, Aquariuses. Just know that it can even go beyond just you. There'd be like people out there that are trying to figure out, like, oh, there's more than just physicality. You know. We do have Kayla. How you doing, Kayla? Thank you for being here. Yeah. So, I did notice your comment, Johnny. You said, "What's going to happen?" The answer to that is that there's someone that is kind of just like fretting about you. Like they could be either in bed, maybe on the couch, maybe sitting in a chair, maybe sitting on a maybe a you know backside pew, or um, maybe somewhere in their car, or maybe just like sitting straight in front of you, and you're just like basically seeing what's going on in their process of thought. Uh, oh, you want to ask me something, Johnny? Go ahead, ask on. You know about six? Yeah. Hmm. There are a lot of youngsters in my life. Those that are, from I think 2004 and on. So if you guys are from that time frame, feel free to be here, but just be careful, because sometimes some of the youngster memes can actually get people like riled up and just like continually like what you call that, spam posting on our comment section. So I'm not saying that it's against any rules or requirements. I'm just saying that keep it light, on that type of funny business. So you can feel free to post it, but just keep it light. Uh, Johnny also said that happened in August 2025 in Chicago. Yeah, there are a lot of people within Chicago that are, I think, basically are like the number one creators of the new memes that get put out. So, yeah. But also, I do want to mention there are some memes out there that actually change the level of spirituality in our lives. So, you can have fun, but just make sure that you're not taking in the type of stuff that would basically degrade your spirituality. You know? Uh, Jose Draper. Thank you for being here, Jose. Feel free to comment, attend this live, however you wish to have it be. And if you want to, I'm seeing a lot of people that are putting up likes. If you feel like you want to put up a like, feel free to put in the like. If you are wanting to subscribe to our channel and be a part of our community, feel free to. Just hit the subscribe button and go to the top notification bell. So then you can go ahead and attend our lovely lives, either this one, the future ones that we have, or maybe even if you want to see any of our past ones, feel free to. In any way, shape, or form that it helps you in. Johnny said, what is your favorite song? There is one that just came out maybe like a couple months back, that was done by Oliver Tree. God, forgive his soul for leaving our reality, and in a very scenic way. but I feel like he was prepared for such an occasion. So, um, yeah. So if you know Oliver Tree, he's a very very good music artist. Talks about a lot of things that not much music artists talk about in the public. Um, Also, he does bring up a lot of scenarios that he speaks about his songs, maybe even other artists' songs, and it's like, you know, he even talks about like some of the shit show that some artists even put out, um, like the devil's work, like the demonic songs that get put out, things like that. Um, oh, Natasha, thank you for being here, Natasha. So glad to see you again. And Village is here. Thank you for being here, Village. Um, Village said, "Good afternoon. How are you doing? Happy to see you today. I am very happy to see all of you too, especially you, Village, since you brought it up. Also, I am doing very well. Thank you for asking." Natasha said, "Hiya, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I am doing very well." Uh, so, I think I did pull out a card and did not talk about it because I was so wrapped in talking to you guys about that whole situation about Oliver Tree, the one artist that had that tragic death. But anyway, this is the card that came out after the Two of Cups came out. The Two of Cups was the very first card that got pulled out of this entire live. So this is your second card that came about. The Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords is basically about like someone who like maybe what I'm seeing is like you and someone or something come to each other, and basically I hear like somebody is like regretting what they did in the past and is trying to repent. It's like somebody who is just like, you know, bawling their eyes out, shaking really hard, um, maybe even like trying to curl themselves up in a ball and going like, I feel like it's somebody that's like rocking back and forth whenever they're alone, and they're just like, you know, I'll give you a sample of maybe a sentence they might say to themselves. It's like they're rocking back and forth, going like, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what's next. You know, that's the type of person that is like looking in, and they're like crying really hard. They're just like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Um, because I feel like it's like somebody who tried to act like a player and went towards someone else, and once they came up to somebody else and committed, they basically got blasted out. It was somebody who got casted away from that person, and now they're very much on their way back to you, saying that they effed up, they were not supposed to do that in the first place, and that they're very sorry, and so on and so forth, in the way that it will, you know, more naturally and more personally and privately attuned to you. Um, then there's like this, you know, Seven of Swords where somebody like sees the event and they're like, you know, running away with all these like, or tiptoeing away with all these like things that they have curled up in their arms or up against their chest, where they're like, you know, getting away scot free, going like, you know, like that, you know, classic old maniacal villain laughter that you always hear in the commercials or the commercials. There are some commercials that do that, but the cartoons, like for example, the Scooby Doo, you know, so on and so forth, um, where like they have like this like really old like 70s, 80s, 90s um, era laughter of a villain where you hear like that like classic laughter from a villain. Um, Also, Village, just to keep up on some comments. Village said, Jay, do you like soccer or watch the World Cup? I definitely did watch a couple of the World Cup episodes, not episodes, a couple of the games. I actually seen a couple U.S. games that recently happened, a couple of the Brazil games that happened, and also a couple of the Moroccan games that happened. So yeah. Uh, Also, Village said for everyone else that has just joined, Village said collective reading for Aquarius. Johnny said, Jacob, what is your favorite game? Favorite game? Um, let's see. My favorite game is basically like basically like a card game, like a really really traditional card game. I really like playing. I know some of you guys actually play this game. The game of BS. So it's basically just like helping you attune to your intuitive abilities, allowing you to attune to your you know thought process of actually having to be able to catch something that happens. So I have played video games before, but it's been quite a while since I've done that. So yeah. Oh, Johnny subbed. Thank you very much for subbing. Village said, "Great. The World Cup has a lot of surprises this year. I know, a very, very lot of surprises. You know. But anyway, yeah. Just then, we can keep our watchers entertained because I know there are some who want to just continue listening in on our reading. Um, I want to let you guys know that in this Seven of Swords, there is someone that is trying to become like this, uh, tiptoeing out in the open thief, like somebody that's like seeing some commotion happen and they're like, I'm okay because I got all my stuff that I needed. Like kind of just like, you know, there's like all this commotion happening out in the center of the field while somebody is like tiptoeing on the seeable outskirts, going like, they won't see me. But the thing is that they will be seen. They will be seen. Um, Johnny. All right, so I do like answering the questions, but however, I don't want to overdo our live where like it goes into like 3 hours or 4 hours worth of a live because people are going to be like, man, I've been listening to this for hours and hours and I don't know how long this is going to take. So just you can ask questions, but just make sure you keep the questions to a minimum. Where not only are you getting the good, but also as well as our watchers are getting the good. So, and not just that, but also as well as maybe even I, you know, making sure that we're all moving along with our life, where there's not just only the questions being asked, but there's also like, as well as commentary, and also as well as my readings to everybody. So I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page and not feeling bored or anything like that. So Natasha said, "This is why I love tarot. I had someone outside my home, and they thought I didn't see them. I did." I agree. Like, there are some people out there that like, act like they doing what they need to be doing, but then like, if you look out and you catch them, or maybe someone that you know of, maybe someone off the side is like maybe, oh, this give me like one of those TV shows or movies where it's like everybody's doing their usual, and then like somebody pops up from nowhere and they're like, "Hey, that guy's stealing," and they're like, "Everybody get him!" Or "Everybody get her!" And just like everybody just goes piling onto them, trying to tackle them and catch them, you know. Or maybe this could be like an actual crime. Like not just like something from the movies, but like somebody that's going like, "Hey, catch him! He stole my stuff!" Or "Catch her!" Like for example, maybe somebody stole money, and they're the person looks up, stands up, and they're like, "Hey, catch them! They're a thief!" It's like you guys catch them, and that person's like, "Oh man," like they got like that cartoony act. It's like Scooby Doo. It's like Scooby Doo, like where you guys are on an investigation, you're trying to figure out what's going on at this moment, and then all of a sudden the person is like caught out in the open, and you're just like, "Hey, I'm gonna go catch that person." And so you guys catch them, you unveil their mask, and you're just like, "Hey, I figured that person was gonna do that." Yeah, yeah, they steal, and they're like, "Yep, I have all the money. I got all the I got the bank. I'm gonna go ahead and go to my dad. I'm gonna go to my mom. I'm gonna go to my I'm gonna go to my daddy. And I'm gonna go to my mommy." And it's like somebody who's got like you know mom or dad issues. Like somebody who's like for example, like somebody comes in and they're like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna show my dad I'm the best," or they're gonna be like, "I'm gonna show my mom I'm the best." But guess what? You Aquariuses, you don't have to say that shit in order to be the best. You can just do an action, and you're brought into being the best. Where it's like you could be the best in sales. You can be the best in action play. You can be the best in being an actor. You can be the best in being in a cafe. You can be the best at doing restaurant work. You can be doing the best in car sales, house sales, things like that. And guess what happens? That third party is ultimately judged. With that judgment card. So it's basically like going from the third party free to act to the third party got caught in the act and now they're going to jail. So anyway, that then brings you all to see that somebody was acting blind with this right here. This card very much likely is the root of it all. Someone's a blind bat. Not just a bat that uses sonar, but I feel like it's somebody that is like, got this attitude of like, you know what, screw sonar. I'm just gonna go ahead and see how far I can get. Well, they're also blind. They find out that they're blind. And guess what? That blindness gets them into more trouble. It's somebody who just does, crime after crime after crime after crime after crime, and there's no such solution from their own very hands in sight. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what would like to come up for the maybe the here and now, or maybe something that would like to express itself even further about what's going on. Maybe something that is at its very deepest root, coming from this conclusionary scenario of the situation. Anything that is maybe hidden, anything that is maybe hadn't been discussed yet, so on and so forth. Also, I am noticing that the guides want to communicate a extra advice to some of you guys. Some of you guys are receiving this card right here, the Knight of Wands. Just know that somebody is trying to charge at you with very, very stone-aged technology. Like somebody where it's like, maybe, for example, you're of like maybe months, maybe like a year or two in the future, and like this person's like 5 years in the past. It's like you're doing the best while this person's like, I can't take it anymore. This person is not receiving what I'm doing. It's like it's like bombs are going off, and it's like while you're over here not even receiving a single blast. It's like somebody that really wants to like cause harm on you. Either if it's like, them trying to announce it like attentively to other people, or just trying to hide it behind other people's backs. Where it's like you're the only one, if not, other people might know. I feel like you're as much the only one who knows the furthest depth of what's going on right now. So this could be of confirmation of what's going on. I'm hearing the word consecration. So that could be a resonance to you, that very word. Take it or leave it in any which way that it appears in your situation. We also do have, starting with our second row of tarot, with this deck right here, is the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is showing up as like, someone who did the most and now they're going to receive the least. Somebody that's like, hey, what about me? I'm supposed to be the famous one. And guess what? They're about to go. And guess what? On the bottom of the deck, the Star. Whatever was pushed down to the very bottom of the realm, whatever was pushed down to the very bottom of succession, either intentively by someone else, or maybe even somebody was trying to be kind of smart-eyed or cockeyed, trying to be a little as demon. They're like, hey, Aquarius, like, keep down. But once that person gets taken and put into the jail, guess who rises? The one who's always been written in the book to rise. The Star, the Aquarius. Because what I'm receiving about the Star being at the bottom of that deck is that somebody was being very demonic. Somebody was being very evil and trying to push you down. Like somebody's like, hey, you're not God, you're not Jesus, you're not, yada yada yada. I am, and you're just saying like, really? Talk to Jesus about that. Talk to the Father about that. Especially talk to Michael about that. The Archangel Michael. And see where that leads you. Even take that to Archangel Uriel. And see where that takes you. So, yeah, I feel like you guys are now stepping up as basically, I feel like you guys are basically being the echo of what Jesus is bringing to the world. It's like, this person denied God, this person denied Jesus, this person denied the archangels, this person denied light itself. And you're just like, go fucking talk with the archangels. Go fucking talk with God. Go fucking talk with the Son of Father. Go talk with the Holy Spirit, And they're like, I already talked with God. I already talked with them. They don't really talk much. And you're just like, mm-hmm. So it's basically just like somebody who's trying to wear someone else's skin. That's what I'm getting, is that this is like a third party who sees someone and they're like basically power hungry. They're basically like wanting revenge, and they're like going like, hey, I want Aquarius's body. I want Aquarius's skin. I want Aquarius's power. But here's the thing. Aquarius is very special. And if someone from the outside takes Aquarius's empowerment, then bye-bye God for them. And for you, Aquariuses, you will then become the special one. So anyway, I do see a couple of new comments that just came in not too long ago. Village said, Happy Father's Day, Jay. I know you have a dad or father-in-law, etc. Yeah, thank you very much for saying all that. I do appreciate it. And also as well as also saying that for some, father figures in my life. I really do feel it in my heart. So thank you very much for saying it. Same to you as well, Village. I hope your father, maybe even maybe uncle, grandfather, maybe father-in-law. I wish them a happy Father's Day as well. Same with all of you guys. If you got any fathers out there, any father similarities or figures, feel free to state that to them. Say Happy Father's Day for me, and I'll greatly appreciate it. Natasha said, "Are you getting a read on who it may be? Who is the demonic person?" Thank you. So this demonic person, it's kind of like somebody who was supposed to have been a angelic person, but they chose wrong and basically said, well, I'm going to go ahead and, cause some mayhem, cause some troubles within, not just in my life, but also other people's lives. But it's like they subconsciously say that stuff. They subconsciously state that they're going to cause problems not just with you guys, but also with themselves. Where it's like, it's kind of like, the captain falls down with their ship type of a thing. That's what they're doing. Is like, if the ship goes down, then the captain will go down with it. Yep. I just saw that card and I know exactly what's going on here. Guess what? Initiation time. With the Nine of Swords. Or not the Nine of Swords. That could be irrelevant. Nine of Swords. Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. That's what this card is. I was like, Nine of Swords? That's not Nine of Swords. We just pulled that out just for, a supplementary, point of view for some people. But this is the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is like initiation, like somebody who's like, tied up, bound, like somebody that is not bound as in like allowing something to come through. It's like bound as in like, somebody in that bounding is like, hey, let me out. I'm not supposed to be here. Like somebody who's just like bound against will, bound against empowerment, bound against humanity themselves. And I feel like somebody is like, if this is a woman that is trying to get you and you're a man, Aquarius, where it's like, this woman is Well, I don't think I'm gonna call them a woman because the actions that they display is not really womanistic. It's like it's like you know this like you know prelude uh female, like a woman that is just not well developed. It's like somebody who is like, hey, you know, let's go have a date, and then once you attend the date, it's like that person's like out, having some fun with some other men, you know, and that's just specifically if it were a woman. It can happen with men sometimes too. Not all men, but just a small select few amount of men, small select few amount of women. But here's the thing: those people aren't really men. Those people aren't really women. Those people are people that are less than human. People that don't even have a freaking clue about what life is. It's like you people are attending above 3D, above 3D, while these people that are trying to like, mess up your life and do all these crazy shit, they're all off to like the 2D and less. The people that haven't really ventured off into what it means to be a human, what it means to be a real person, to see themselves in the mirror and be like, oh, I'm a man, and they look at themselves and they're like, oh, I'm a woman. I'm not like the people that has like it effed up in their mind of like their physical feature is a woman while their mind is like I'm a man, or maybe it doesn't just happen in that perspective, but it also happens in the man perspective too, where it happens in both perspectives. It happens in both, not just either one. It happens in both. So even the men sometimes do that, where it's like they have it fucked up in their mind, and they look inside at themselves as the like themselves into the mirror, and they're like, yeah, I got this male body, but I'm actually a female, like somebody that has themselves like it's kind of like somebody who has like, wow, this gear is rolling this way, this gear is rolling that way. Whether then there's like a gear going this way and then a gear going that way. You know, it's like if the gears are kind of like rolling into each other and they're like smooth, that is proper thinking. If if there's like a if they're like yeah, cogs, like if the cog if each cog are like running in the same direction, it's like there is gonna be no absolute thought process at all. Like for example, if your right mind is going right while your left mind is going right, or your right mind is going left while your left mind is going left, it's like it's confusion. It's confusion at its biggest. But here's the thing: while that's happening, the heart gets infected, the lungs get infected, the kidney gets infected, the abdominals get infected, the joints and hips and stuff like that get infected. The even the brain gets diluted. You know, that's what happens. But anyway, just so then we can catch up on our comments that came in just recently. We do have Alex that just came in. Thank you very much for coming in, Alex. You're an Aquarius. Interesting. We got an Aquarius that's here attending. So I'm glad to have you here on your very particular reading. You're joining in from the Philippines. That's cool. Where at? Are you somewhere near Mindanao, or are you somewhere near Visayas? Are you oh, you're in Manila? Oh, that's cool. I'm glad to see you from there. Thank you very much for showing up from the north side. So yeah, if you guys are feeling like this is aligning with yourself about the current situation that's occurring within you, or maybe at you, or maybe around you, if that takes place, feel free to hit that like button, maybe even subscribe if you want to, so then you can attend maybe not just this live in case there's maybe something happens and you want to get back to the live, you can. And also, as well as if you feel like you want to share it to someone, there's the share button. So feel free to hit the share button and send it to somebody that would like to also join. That may be either Aquarius or maybe even someone who, maybe wants to become a binge watcher of this channel. There is also this right here, which is kind of like, while this third party is like, falling apart, and they're the ones that are, finally now tearing, and snot's coming out, and they're just like in a stance now where, they fucked up everything. Now they have to feel the feeling that you and maybe even your person had felt for so long, where it's like, they're now the ones crying, they're now the ones weeping, and they're like, oh my God, Father, take me back. Like somebody who's just like, going crazy, and God's like, you earned it. You earned this, and now you get to keep it. But it's like, while that's happening, you're just having the time of your life. You're living in a really nice place for some of you. If you ask for a really nice place in your life, maybe you have a really nice vehicle now. If you have been asking for it, it's like it finally comes to, and you're just like, finally, Father, I've been asking for this. Thank you. And maybe right before you say the thank you, it's like God is like, you're welcome. I knew you really wanted it, and now you received it. So it's kind of like while you were on your investigation about it, it was like Jesus was on the investigation about it. It was like also the All-Father was on the investigation about it. It was like they were trying to figure out, like, what was going on with all this. And they find out that, like, oh, so Aquarius is not the one that's in trouble. It's this motherfucker over here. So it's like, kind of like all your hard work becomes, or maybe even kind of converts, not shapeshifts. That's like the negative side of that. But basically transmutes into diamonds. So it's like you see like maybe like for example if you were in a farm going like, man, I really wish I would have just a full field of, you know, farming plants. You know, I want to see a full field of uh, you know, wheat. I want to see a whole field full of corn. I want to see a whole field full of barley. I want to see a whole field full of, you know, so on, so forth. And then like the moment occurs where this third party or this, malignant, motherfucker basically messes up, and they're like, their place is getting crashed and destroyed while your place is like living the best life and dream that you could ever possibly have. It's like, you know, I feel like this is not a small win. This is a major win. This is a massive win. Like something that you've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for so long now, and it finally comes to. Anyway, let's see. Anything else show up after the Ten of Cups for the Aquarius about this situation? I see. I see. Look at that. Looks like somebody's gonna be dropping their guard. The third party is gonna be like, receiving this initiation for so long that they're like, you know what? Why don't I just feel it? Let it happen. And all of a sudden, their sword comes falling down. Their shield comes down. Their armor comes down, and all this sword, the sword, the shield, the armor. Guess what? They're not heaven. They're hell. They're hell raised. And so once they drop it, it's like basically a filter being taken off, and you finally realize what the real colors are. So it goes like, from black and white to color, or maybe it goes from like a rose color to a golden color, And they're like looking at it going like, what the fuck? How the heck did this color go from this old color to this other color here? And the simple answer was that they just had to take off those rose-colored glasses. That was the only thing that they had to take off, was the rose-colored glasses. And that would be their way of recognizing what really happened. And guess what? This third party is going to be like, all right, well, I'll just drop the option of, going towards the Aquarius and head towards someone else. So they start thinking, and they're like, okay, so, like, for example, if this was a Leo, maybe they have, like, a Libra. They have maybe they have, like, an Aries. Maybe they have, like, Gemini. Maybe they have, like, let's see here. Maybe they have a Taurus. I feel like they're very centered around like the negative side of the zodiacs, where it's like maybe they thought that Aquarius was the negative zodiac, but they found out that Aquarius was not a negative zodiac. So they snapped their mind into the real reality and they find out like, oh, Aquarius wasn't negative in the first place. All these other people over here were the negative ones. So they go towards these negative zodiacs, and they're like having the best time of their lives, sprawling out their money, having fun time, and they're basically having fun time, not just honing in the negativity, but they're basically allowing the negativity happen on the outside of them. So then it's like a wake up process for that person. But your person, Aquarius, your person is the one that's like, running back, going like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, I did not mean to do that, I'm sorry." It's like somebody who is just like, done something really bad to the point where now they're just like, shaken. Oh, this is giving me like the phrase that 007 always says in the James Bond movies. He's like, "I'm gonna have a martini, shaken, not stirred." Things like that. And that was their old reality. Now it's kind of like, okay, I don't want to be shaken anymore, because I finally realized the reality of what life was like and what was happening in the life. But I want to go from being shaken to being stirred, to basically do that with somebody, where it's like kind of just like a spiral into each other rather than like a collision, you know? And this is the future, or maybe something that will bring it to the very core of the situation at this time. Somebody is going to be like, well, I guess all our fights are done with. I guess all our fights is not going to happen anymore. I guess we're not going to be manipulative. We're not going to be juggling back and forth. Like somebody that's going like, well, do I want the Aquarius? Do I want the Aquarius person? Do I want to have some fun around here? Do I want to, get laid? Things like that. That's what this person, the third party, is thinking about now. Where it's like, it's getting your person off the wrong track and getting them back to you on the right track. That's what's going on. While that's happening, this is happening. You're standing in your power, Aquarius. Right here. King of Swords. Even way more than what you were previously. Like it's like somebody thought that they could burn or burden you with this chaos, try to stalemate you, but it's like you came up successful. You Aquariuses were the ones who came up successful, and now you get to enjoy the time, not lay in it. To enjoy the time, like to feel fulfilled, to feel like you have achieved something that could even be biblical. Something that just happens, that where it's like this person is like losing their loving mind, and they're just like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Oh my God, I did something wrong. While you are living the best life of yourself, and your person is like coming in saying like not crashing out like this third party out over here, but like they're basically coming in going like, you know what, Aquarius, you've been right. I know you're right currently, but you also have been right for a long time. So it's like somebody who realizes not what is going on at this very moment in time, but it's like they also read about the history about this third party. They finally figure out like what this third party has been doing for so long. So yeah. Um Also, I do want to say hi to a lovely commenter in our live feed. We do have Duck Rockstar Freddy. Thank you very much for being here. I have not seen you in a long time, so I'm glad very much that you're here. Um, Also, just to read through our comments for some of you guys who maybe have seen Duck back then. Here we go. Duck said, "Guess who's back?" They said, "Hi, Jacob. Do you remember me?" I definitely do. It's been a little while, so I'm glad you're back here. Attending our lovely live, being a part of this. Yeah. We're having a pretty good live today. Like we're basically in the stance where it's just like Aquarius is now away from this detrimental third party, and the third party is like finally realizing what they've been doing for all these years. And it's like, it's basically like they have been, kind of drenched in the negativity, where it's like, as they're acting, it's like the negativity is like kind of like flowing with their energy into people, and they're like, hey, here, you have the negativity. Hey, you get the negativity. Hey, you get the negativity. All of you have the negativity. And it's like somebody who's just like, they don't want to clear the negativity from their own very self. They don't want to clean spaceship, Yeah, I'm getting like that. I'm getting like the spiritual notification where it's saying like that emergency light pops up, and it's like warning, foreign object in spacecraft. Warning, foreign object inside spacecraft. And so the person is just like, yeah, whatever. That foreign object is gonna be fine. It'll have some time by itself. And then all of a sudden you just like, this person is like, you get like that same specific sound that you hear from like really old rustic cars, where it's like and it's like it's driving, but it's like you also hear that it's like it's got like that like 1920s all the way up until like 1957. That's like the range of when those vehicles had that very specific sound. And then from from 1957 and on, that's when people were like, you know what? Let's fix our cars. We don't want to be the broke country that is being presented. We want to actually, fix these vehicles and actually, you know, finally stand in the modern day. So that's what's going on, is like this person refuses to stand in the modern day, and they're like, I'm just gonna drive this old ass car. I'm gonna drive this vehicle that's breaking down, and then all of a sudden, one day, splat, their car ends. It doesn't even move. It doesn't even make a sound. It just stops. So anyway, while that's going on for you guys, for you to understand, there were a couple more comments from Duck. Duck said, I hope you hit 250 to 300 subs. Thank you very much, man. I know it's not only just beneficial for me, but it's also beneficial for all of you viewers out there that are not just only a part of our channel, but also those that are, first time viewing our channel and our live, things like that. And also, Duck also even said, good ball. Yeah. Yeah, there are some crazy, motherfuckers out there. There are a lot of people who love making jokes out of the wrong things. Where it's like, maybe one person's very comedial and then the other one's like very serious. Where it's like, you have this one person where he's like, I hope you fall flat on your butt. And, they laugh, but then there's this person where they're like looking at that person going like, have you talked with God recently? And I feel like there was some kind of like stammer, but then it was like, this person's like, no, I didn't really talk with God, but, I talked with this person though. But it ends up being like the person that they mentioned was actually an evil spirit, Anyway, I know there are some of you guys that are waiting for the next few cards, so I'm gonna get that up real quick. So then you guys aren't like feeling like, hey, is Jacob gonna put up the next few cards? So that one did seem right to come out. So then here it comes. 6 of Cups. Even though that this card personifies like childlike relations with each other, it's like what I'm receiving with this card, telepathically, spiritually, I'm receiving someone is like maybe sorry that they walked away, and now they are like, you know what? I'll just show the Aquarius my feelings now. It's like somebody who failed in one avenue, and they're like, you know what? Maybe Aquarius is right. Maybe I'll come back and show them my feelings. Like somebody who is like maybe, this give me like, and this may be confirmation for some of you guys. But anyway, this is the person that is like, for quite a few years, they were like, they receive the notion from you, Aquarius, where you're just like, hey, I really like you. Do you like me? And they're like, no, Aquarius, I don't really like you. You're weird. But like, or maybe they might say like, maybe they might be like, no, we won't even be together for years. Maybe even this lifetime. We're not going to be together. But like, you're just like, fine. And you just like put your hands in your pockets and you walk away. And that was the very snap that happened. That was the very snap that woke them up. It may have taken them a little time, but that basically woke their ass up. That opened their eyes wide. That really like got them moving. It was like if if you're not gonna focus on me, then I won't focus on you. And you're just like you're walking away happy and glad that you're moving along. And this person's like, looking at themselves, going like, man, what the fuck did I just do? I just let my person, go away. What the hell? And it's like they basically thought like, well, let's see if we can go with the person that we were once going with. The person that's like ways out there. So they go over there, all to find out that this person that was way out there actually wasn't their person. They like met up with them and tried to get all personal with them, but the person way out there was like looking at them going like, are you on drugs? Are you getting high? Are you drinking? And it's like, it's kind of like it's kind of like this person wanted to feel something about this person way out there. Guess what their motivation was? That moolah. That occupation. They're like, maybe they look at you and they're like, yeah, they're, you can have all the time that you need, you got like this amount of money, it's only just like maybe, 10 grand, maybe even 50 grand, 90 grand, 400 grand, and then they look at this person and they're like, oh my God, they almost have like $500 million. But then when they really look at their bank account, they find out that they're broke. And that's what that happens. And just to let you guys know, they already, your person already feels this. Your person already feels this at this very moment in time. But they're on their way to you to let you know, to help you catch up on what they've been feeling throughout this entire time. It's kind of like them coming to you and being like, they're like sobbing and they're like, I'm sorry, Aquarius, I'm sorry, I fucked up. And they're like, have their head drenched down, and maybe they could have been coming from a rainstorm. They could have been, hit really hard with cold wind, or maybe some kind of, windstorm of some sort. Either if you guys are from maybe a desert area, such like for example, maybe if you guys are, here in the Americas, maybe very specifically Texas. There are some people who are over in like New Mexico, Colorado, certain places within California. Also even Oregon. If not from the U.S. side, Maybe you guys could be from like Canada, maybe even places in the Philippines. There are some places in the Philippines that are very desert-like, so I'll include that. Um, Places in Africa, if you guys are from Africa, feel free to put that in. Even UK, I did see Natalia. Uh, maybe that might be a nickname for you, Natasha, Natalia. Yeah, but yeah, UK. Some of you guys could have very specific places in the UK that are very desert-like. Um, Even some places that are like over in um, maybe somewhere in let's see, Central or South America. If you're from like maybe Honduras, let's see, Costa Rica, um, Cuba, Bahamas, Solomon Islands. Yeah, even some where in like Hawaii or Fiji, that could be a residence. I know there are a lot more other places out there, but I want to make sure that nobody's feeling like we're getting way too far in on just one subject, and it would last our life pretty long. So just know that even though I may have not have mentioned your country or area specifically, just know that it will be subconsciously added in. So just know that you're still added, even consciously or subconsciously. Um, Also, Natalia said, Natasha said, "Hey, I called Natalia." um, Natasha said, "Countryside." Yeah, you're on the countryside of in the UK. Yeah, yeah. There are some places in the UK that are very deserty, that are very you know very filled with desert sand that are because there are some places in the world that are like being encroached by desert sand. I know there are some places that don't have it, but a good majority of the places in the world have been encroached by sand. Where it's like they were once farmlands, now they're just like barren deserts. But anyway, let's go ahead and get in some. Let's see. Some of our other tarot deck, just in case it maybe something may have been off the side somewhere, to talk to you guys about the situation. This is probably going to be like 4 cards and less per level. So let's see what comes out about like the past all the way up to the present time frame, then the present to the future, then from the future and on. Anything to clarify that would like to come out about the situation for Aquarius that is being spoken about? Okay. Interesting. So it looks like I had the full array of cards that just popped out. The past that popped out was the 10 of Cups, which is basically just like letting you guys know that 10 of Cups on The regular side of tarot is basically being clarified and confirmed. So it's basically like something that will happen, will truly happen. Going from the past energy to the present energy. Um, this is basically like the in between part between past and present energy that got brought out. Um, and look if you see very closely in that picture, it's like that cat right there is just like focusing on the cups. It's like, you basically see like um, somebody who's just like, for example, somebody who's racing towards that end strip, where they're like in a country race. Um, it's kind of like cross country, like somebody who's running to the end zone. They're like, come on, I got it, and they cut through the line, and they see it in the very instant, and they're like raising up their arms, going like, yeah, I won. It's like, somebody who achieved their goal. Um, where it's like maybe something looked as if it scared your person away, but really it just like made your person really think of what life really is, of what life really is occurring. It's like they look at life and they're they're like, what the hell have I been doing all this time? It's like they like energetically like blacked out. Like it's like they're doing the act while even not while not physically there, occurring in that moment. Going from the present energy into the future energy, we got the card right here, which is the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is basically about like somebody who is like packing up their bags and leaving. They're just like, yeah, you know what? Fuck off with this. I'll just go on over to that way. That's it, to that location. Where it's like maybe somebody who's like, well, I guess what I am is, something really bad, something that has caused issues and problems in this world. I should go that direction. That's what this Ten of Wands is about. Is like the third party is just ashamed and upset of what they did to not just you, even to your person, even to a friend of yours, like somebody who is just like so freaking disloyal, so freaking hurtful to the point that they just want to not just only crash and burn themselves, but also have other people crash and burn with them. So it's like, if I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna bring you down with me. That's the type of person that is happening. Is like they are losing the fight, and they're like, they're pretty much at this point in time basically past the notion of trying to bring you down with them, or even bring your person down with them, or maybe even bring a friend of yours down with them. It's like they lost at all of their avenues except for meeting up with this person that's been poking them and poking them and poking them, telling them like, hey, look, I'm your person. Hello. Because like, look, if that notion of them basically going with their person gets refused, then here comes the claws. You know, it's not just going to be, fists. It's going to be claws, like full on scratch action. Like somebody is really going to not just be hurt, but also be given scars to think about it. So that's what this Four of Swords is about. Is like um, somebody is basically just like burying the hatchet on something, but they find out the hatchet is actually something that is supposed to be theirs. And guess what? That hatchet uh, basically goes from, you know, like once they grab onto that hatchet, it goes from being a hatchet to being a sword of God. Next is that uh, Five of Cups that I had shown you, which is basically saying like this Five of Cups on the other deck is being confirmed. It's saying like the Five of Cups will happen no matter what. It's basically saying like the path forward is to basically um, transmute change through a very meaningful, uh, very understandingful conversation between you and your person, and then also a third party with their person. Where it's kind of just like they have to have this conversation in order for the chaos to end. And guess what happens right after the Five of Cups? Interaction, involvement. With the Five of Wands. It's where the third party is going to be involved with their person, while um, while the two of you and your person are basically being involved with each other. Where it's like there is no other answer in this situation except for involvement. Where it's like somebody who said they didn't want to be involved back in the past. Now they're going to be involved now. They're going to be involved now. Uh-huh. Look at that. This is the future energy, going from the future and onward. This is the Seven of Wands. Somebody could be maybe feeling a little bit judgmental, but however, they're basically trying to walk away in shame, where they're just like, yeah, well, I guess I lost with the Aquarius. I guess I lost with the Aquarius person. I guess I lost with the Aquarius friend. I guess I'm gonna have to go with these people here over here. They're gonna basically crash out. They're gonna burn out, and they're gonna be like, oh my God, what's going on? Wow, you're just having your time, being an emperor, being an empress. You know, or maybe even higher than an emperor and empress. Maybe you could be in the levels of being like, archangelic, or maybe even god tiered. Like you're just like in the space where it's just like, everything that you've asked for so many years has finally came to. Everything that you've been asking for so long, even if you have achieved a certain amount of things, that you've been asking for, this is going from achieving very little to achieving a lot. And even beyond the massive. It's like you're going to the stance of where it's just like, maybe, if you wanted to see what your family heritage was, maybe like, for example, maybe coming from the UK, maybe you specifically, Natasha, maybe you find out like, huh, my family is not just from the UK, they're actually over in Ireland. Or maybe you look at and you're just like, wait a second, I have family over in the Nordic area. My family is part Nord, you know. Or maybe some of you guys could be looking at it, and maybe, if you're from the U.S., maybe this could be of an example. Maybe somebody came from the U.S. and they're looking at their history and their life of ancestors and things like that, and they're just like, "What? I have Native American in my blood?" Or maybe they might be like, "Oh, I have Italian. I have Slovenian." You know, that could be of a reference of what's going on. um, where it's like you finally realize what's been going on, and maybe you even add a couple of things that you've been waiting for so long, and it's just like you feel it within yourself, and you're just trying to figure out like, is this what I'm feeling really true? Where it's like, you know, uh, where I'm not just only like this American that's just living here in the United States, that I actually have heritage elsewhere. Where it's like you have like heritage in France, or you have heritage in Germany, you know, and all of a sudden you read up and you do some family history, and you're just like, what? I'm actually over there. I actually have distant family from there, and it's like it's a really massive awakening. It gives you like this, um, beyond awakening. Like it's like something like has just been in you for so long, and you're just like, come on, I just need the time and energy to get to it. And finally, when you have that time and energy to do so, you search it up, and it's like it just astounds you. You're just like, so my family hasn't been in this country all their lives. Like, my family hasn't been here since the beginning, or the birthing of my family heritage, that actually have been from these other countries. And it's like, maybe you get the confirmation, you have a writ or some kind of confirmation paper that says like, you know, your heritage has been from here. And feel free to go over to this country to be acclimated with the culture. So you go over to that country that maybe you read up about your family, about your ancestor heritage, And it's just like, you go there and all these people are going like, "Yay! We finally, brought our people back too. Thank you for being back to your home country." And you're just like, you go from depressed and tired to like, finally living it, finally living the life that you've been waiting for. Even if it means that you have to leave your own current country for at least a little while to go see this country out there, like it's like it unlocks something within you. It it achieves something, either whether if it was intentional or unintentional, um, consciously or unconsciously. It's like it happens that like, you know you're like here in your usual country, and you're just like, yeah, life is just the same old usual. And you go over there and you're just like, I could have been all the way over here. And so I'm not saying that you have to, but just only go on your free will. So only go on the time that you feel like it feels acclimated to your own self. So yeah, um, because I know there are going to be some times where like, if you're just like, I'm gonna go just because Jacob said, and you go there and you're just like, this land could have been a little bit better than what I thought it would have. So it's kind of like you have to be acclimated with your motivation, your pathway into it, things like that. So we are pulling cards that are of the Oracle for you guys. And we actually have some pretty good cards here. We have the Stepping Through card coming from the Beyond Lemuria deck. So if you are feeling like someone's trying to dredge you into this darkness, if somebody's being like trying to catch you in and trying to bury you into the wrong side of things, basically you're going to still have enough strength to carry your things, and it's just like you cut through from being forced into this dark alley or dark perspective into the light that you've been acclimated with, that you have been given by God, and basically I feel like when you were in this darkness, somebody forcefully pushed you in. Somebody was like, no, you're not gonna go into that light, no, no, and they're just like trying to push you more and more and more and more. But like, but you found a way to like become this like a magicianal spirit of some sort, where it's like, or maybe even a half spirit, half ninja. It's like, a poof of smoke goes on, and they're like, whoa, where did Aquarius go? And you take that instant moment to like basically disappear from their line of sight when the smoke clears off, and it's basically like you kind of curve around them and basically find a very good way to hop into the light again. And basically you said like, you know what, I'm going to close this portal. I'm going to close all the negativity that has came through, and all the negativity that has tried to seep into this light. So you close close the darkness, or maybe even the portal into the dark realm of some sort. And this this being is like, just at the last second going like, no, while this portal that they were trying to step through to bring you into the darkness was closing. And they're like, getting all frustrated with themselves, where it's like, once it closes, it's like, oh, I should have had him, or I should have had her, things like that. It's like somebody that is like so set on bringing the Aquarius into the darkness. But it's like, you were always light, Aquarius. You were always light. Always. There was no such avenue of you being dark. You have always been the light. Always have and always will. Even if people try to force it down you and say like, hey, look, Aquarius is the dark one, hey. If they force it on you, then that person's got a lot to answer for their spirituality. They have a lot on their plate to answer for themselves. And then there's the air. Maybe even specifically, if not like, just the air that we breathe in, the wind, things like that. This could be like talking about the element of what your zodiac falls in. It could be like, a spirit saying like, good job for the air element. You guys are doing great. Like things like that. Like they're applauding you. They could be having celebratory whistles. Where like you guys could hear from like a really, really, really old movie where it's like an old Western or something like that, where or maybe even if you guys are into this, maybe like a World War II, World War One movie, where the victors are parading down the pathway, and all the citizens are going like, yay, yay, like everybody's just like waving, saying thank you, things like that. And they're just like happy that the victory occurred. It's like you guys have always been and always will be the victors. And even it's written in the book. It's written in the book. It was the Bible. Inside the Bible, there is a instance where it says like, the one of the stars is the right hand man to the one and only. So it's basically saying like everyone who is connected or being or aligned as the star, or in other words, the Aquarius, is basically the type of people that will basically come up as the victor for God. While while Pisces is like the one that is like bringing that information down to the Aquarius for them to be the victors of the heaven. So let's go ahead and see if there's any other remaining cards for the Aquarius on this very particular situation. Okay. Got some interesting ones. Ones that we have not pulled before. We do have unique gifts that got pulled out. The unique gifts card is basically about like, what will you receive once you've made this victory, or once you make multiple victories. Once you make the victory or victories, then something spiritual will grow. Something will basically emanate. And maybe it could be a spiritual visual. Maybe it could be something where it's like, you visually say something and then all of a sudden something happens in your throat chakra, your heart chakra, your third eye chakra, your crown chakra, sacral, solar plexus, so on and so forth. It's like there is something that glows or maybe vibrates very brightly, very gratefully. Like God is basically coming through and saying, like, you have achieved what you did not before. You achieved what others could not. You did what the others have messed up about themselves. And guess what? Guess who becomes the lucky one? You, Aquarius. That right there is you, Aquarius. That dragon right there. May not be like maybe for some of you, maybe not physically you as the dragon, but it could be metaphorically. Maybe verbally, maybe spiritually. But I feel like few of you who have like this, there could be some of you that could be of this alignment. And sorry, somehow our live went somehow, said like, hey, we're having some troubles connecting. So if you guys see that, just know that we'll come right back. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, you could be maybe at this very instance, maybe some of you who haven't yet used crystals recently, maybe you could be starting to use the crystals because I'm seeing some like selenite or some kind of clear quartz of some kind. Someone could be connecting into some kind of antique crystal, something that they bought that had some kind of healing properties of some sort. That could be of other resonances to it. Excuse me. Also, I am seeing some kind of I'm seeing like a blend of blue flowers and then a blend of purple flowers or violet flowers, if you might put it that way. Somebody could be like, maybe being like, okay, well, this field is full of blue, while this field is full of purple. And, somebody comes up to your house, maybe not as like a detrimental person, but somebody who is just like maybe a you know one of those like um, house graders, like the people that come up and be like, hey, look, this house did pretty good. I'm gonna give you a pass. Or maybe they point out something like, hey, this bush is looking kind of rough. Looks like one of your neighbors passed, but sorry, man, you're gonna have to do it better next time. But I feel like this point in time, it's like going to be a shock to this person. It's like you have this beautiful field and beautiful house and things like that. Everything is in top notch, and everybody is like looking at it going like, "What the heck? The Aquarius can actually do this? Wow! Look at all the color. Look at all the magnificence." Guess what? That's what you are in spiritual human form. Trust your innocence. You always have and always will be innocent. You know? Like look, even that. Like I was talking about the blue and the purple being blended together. Guess what's happening in that picture? Blue and purple being blended together. Look at that. Yeah. And if you have to, you can like rewind this live and basically see that very specific picture of me showing that card to you, the Trust Your Innocence card. And even look, not just the color, but look, it has the star there. The star. That's the biggest picture of it all. Not just the color, but the star. So you're being very highlighted into the Trust Your Innocence. And then look, this is what follows afterwards. This is the new blueprints card. Basically, you're going from like basically a very talented warrior to a legend. It's basically like you're going from like you know like a captain, or you're going from like an admiral, or you're going from like a general, like somebody that's of high rank, to like a level of like this uh, lone wolf, where you're just like this legend. Everybody's like where I feel like there's a half amount of the people out in the public that are going around going like, where's this Aquarius? But then there's also the other people who have believed in you that like they're like shouting your name, going like, "Go Aquarius, go! Go Aquarius, go! Go Aquarius, go!" And it's just like maybe like if you guys ever have played this video game before, if you ever like a video game like fanatic, there is a video game out there called Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yutei. um it's basically like you're going from someone of like a royal honor to like someone that has like their own sigil. somebody that is like the grandfather or not, well, not grandfather, the founding father of the whole family. So it's like maybe for example, maybe some of you guys could be named maybe Baxter, or maybe your last name is Barand or something like that. And it's like you go from that um, to like you know let's see uh, to like maybe Matthias. Yeah, like someone with like the last name Matthias, or yeah. If you guys remember, some of you classic folk out there, there may be a really old cartoon movie called I think it was like The Legends of Matthias, or just Matthias. It was like this. It was like this. Mouse that becomes like, super. Um, you know, I would say maybe very, legendary. Like they know how to strike. They know how to deal with something that has been attacking a point of view of something. Um, they hold this brilliance of something. It's like it's going from being a great um, militant of someone to going into the stance of being like, you know you're the leader of the next few generations. Like, you're going into the stance of like, okay, I'm going to you know be the very first of this family line, and I'm going to have people join me as the followers, or maybe you have them as like the continuation down the family line, and it's like they join in and they're like, hold up, how did you create this family? And when you tell it to them, they're like, oh, so you don't want evil to take over the world. You don't want the evil to be what the world is about. You want the world to be good. You want the world to be enlightened. Things like that. Oh, we have Francis being here. Thank you for being here, Francis. Francis said, "Wife left me 3 weeks ago." Hmm. Did you want a personal reading, or do you want to maybe see if this last deck of cards here will uh, will help you on something? Will she come back? I will definitely see if this deck comes up with that while I'm doing the general reading for Aquarius. All right. I feel like a lot of you Aquariuses actually do already have this, but I feel like this is even very specifically meant for Francis, for you to receive self confidence. So I feel like somebody may have downset your self confidence. Um, Not the person that you had clarity about, that actually was your person, but this is basically just like someone who basically tried to um, downplay your connection with your person. Like somebody that was like, yeah, me and Aquarius were getting together. Yeah, yeah, me and Aquarius are besties. You know, even more than that. But really, here's the thing: you, Francis, and your person, um, that you have felt for decades now. The two of you guys are have always been connected to each other, even if it's not happening in the conscious realm, the physical realm. It could even be happening in the unconscious realm, the spiritual side of things. So just know that even though you guys may not interact with each other, um, like humanely, physically, like up in front with each other. It's like you guys are seeing each other up in front, spiritually, like seeing each other maybe through visions. Uh, right now, no contact. Yeah, yeah. Like even though that there's no like contact through like phone calls, text messages, things like that, or maybe even physically face to face. It's like you guys are seeing each other through the spiritual realm, the dream realm, the the mental connection, the what you call it, telepathic stage, where it's like basically, even though that you guys aren't really like you know talking to each other, like for instance, being in this room where it's me and you, like face to face, up in front of each other, where there's no perspective of the screen that's showing you guys. It's like that's the physical side, while the spiritual side, it's like I could be talking to you while you're all the way out in like maybe you know all the way out in Poland, or maybe I could be over here in the United States and you could be all the way out in Argentina. It's like it's a really in-depth communication where it's like as far north, west, south, east, that you go, it's like you still have that capability of talking with each other, even through the spirit realm. Uh, Francis said, "So is it possible for her to return?" So I can definitely give you the answer, but I feel like this is a very specific answer for only you yourself to receive, because it's like, even though that we may feel as if we're disconnected from spiritual communication, it's like you can still have that spiritual communication, if you're inclined to it or not. You know, if you're acclimated to having you know telecommunication, through like telekinesis, like being able to to talk with each other, using like um, the spiritual mind. You know, I meant in the physical. Yeah, yeah. There's definitely going to be physical communication and connection. Just know that, um, before a physical communication and connection, and even appearance, just know that there's also the spiritual connection, communication, and appearance. So just know that before they come back, there's always the stage of like you guys really talking to each other, even past this physical body. You know, the soul, the spirit, that can actually communicate well beyond the physical boundaries. So we'd also have Ankersall. Thank you for being here, Ankersall. Um, they said, my family members on the other side in heaven. Yes, um, I for sure communicate with them strongly. Um, it's actually insane how much I can tap in with Pip and animals. Yeah, I agree. Also, there is a comment from Francis. How can I send her this type of message spiritually? It's literally as much as just a simple thought. You know, it's basically just like maybe if you picture the thought, if you say the thought within your mind, if you, you know, even if it comes in through like a written form, any which way it comes through, like basically just like imagine if you were communicating to your person like through text message or something like that, and just like putting in the sense of like, okay, I'm going to visually picture what I'm saying or what I am texting or what I'm putting forth, and actually spiritually send it to my person. So it's basically um, just like just like sending a set of mail in the mailbox. Basically, just like okay, what do I want to write on this piece of paper, or what do I want to type on the piece of paper, and then once you have it printed or have it fully written, it's like you fold it up, place it in an envelope, write the name on there, stick the envelope where the flap meets with the main part of the envelope, and then stick it in there. And maybe you might put on like that off the side sticker where it's like this is the region of where it's coming from, and maybe their response might be like for example maybe they might say like, yeah, I'm gonna be on your way, you know, and sometimes they might put it off, which yeah is very reasonable. I know how that turns out to be, but just know that they will definitely be on their way to you, either if it takes a long time or if it takes a short time. You know, um, and Coral or Ankersal, Ankersal. I just want to make sure I say it right. Uh, said work on third eye and crown chakra and meditate. Can write it down or envision writing a letter. I agree. Like it's not only just like you know you visualizing it and putting it out. You could even as well as just like write out the letter physically, maybe put it off to the side once you're done, and have it enveloped and stuff like that. And it's just like you have it like visually pictured, and just like maybe while you're sleeping or while you're resting, maybe at that point in time that you can basically send it at that point. You don't have to, because I know there are different ways of having to send that telepathic vision and sentence and stuff like that that you've written, that you put forth for your person. So it's basically like not only can it be in bed but it also can be like while you're just up and about, maybe making yourself breakfast, making yourself lunch, making dinner for the family, uh, maybe doing your morning routine stuff. Um, maybe, maybe you know, while you're driving in the vehicle, you find somewhere to park off the side and you send it. And it's like, that really awakens you to the sense of like, there's more than just the physical presentation of how to send a message to someone that is, you know, in the viewpoint of who you want to send to. Um, Also, Francis said, yesterday I asked God to help me heal. I asked him to heal her. Yeah, good job with putting that in, because not only do you want to heal yourself, but you also want to heal the person that could be connected to a situation. Where it's like maybe you're like trying to figure out like, hey, I've been hurt so bad, I don't know what to do. You know, um, if it comes to you in the highest positivity that you could ever be, where it's like something that's really good for the alignment of advancement for yourself, it's like really put in the perspective of like, okay, I just want to make sure that I move forward, that I move into the next step or phase of who I am. And that's what that is about, is like, you're put in all this attainment for God to receive and figure out like, is this really the thing that is meant for, maybe for example, you, Francis. Maybe they say like, is this really what is in line for Francis? Or maybe they might be like, already do know what's going on, and it's like maybe something really bad happened, and you're just like, well, I don't know if this is gonna work, things like that. So yeah. Francis said, yeah, brother, lost 35 pounds in 3 weeks, changing diet and exercises. Yeah, so not only is it just like the physical connection, the physical aptitude of what you're doing in the world, but it's also as well as the spiritual aptitude, where it's like, not only do you have to change like your diet and your exercises, but you also have to change, like like for example, like am I really connecting to the negative aspect of things? Am I really connecting into the things that I should not be? That's what the spiritual aspect side of life is about, where it's like you're already understanding about how to deal with physical side of things, where it's like the what's happening right in front of your eyes, but you have to also have this stuff dealt with that is also within you. um Ankersall said, good for you. uh Francis said, yeah, I pray more. uh Talk to the psychologist. Thank you, Anchor. So yeah, basically just know that there are many different avenues that you could take, but go with the ones that resonate with not just the heart, not just with the mind and forethought, but also that aligns with the soul, the spirit, things like that. You know, um, Ingersoll said, when I left 13 when I left a 13-year marriage, um, I was working out, and it's been a great healer ever since. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Some people might feel better with like the physical side of things. Just know that sometimes if you take the perspective of the spiritual side of things, just know that the spiritual side of things can basically awaken you and show you that you're missing out on the other half of healing. So yeah, there's way more than just the physical side of things. There's way more than just the verbal side of things. There's way more than just the mental side of things. There's even spiritual things. Uh, yeah, that's what I'm getting. Francis is trying to see if there's any other cards left. Uh-huh. Okay. That one. Yep. All right. I think we're going to close book after this last card here, which is discernment. Uh, so maybe for a select few of you audience members of our channel out there, um, this is where things really get into play. Put in the aspect and perspective of discernment. Where look, even if it means that you don't make a instant uh like action, reaction, so on and so forth. Um, do you see how that cat right there is putting up a magnifying glass and trying to see the mouse a little bit closer? Going from, um, the perspective without the magnifying glass to the perspective of with the magnifying glass. It's like, going from seeing a fingerprint and going like, yeah, well, this is just a piece of dust. And you basically bring up a magnifying glass and you're just like, wait a second. This isn't just a piece of dust. This is actually a whole entire fingerprint. So, yeah. Yeah, Francis said, yeah, take a closer look. Hmm. So it's basically like maybe, oh yeah, like for instance, if you look at um, like you know pieces of paper that have like maybe a writ. Maybe you are looking at a bill if you're in like legislative things like that. You're looking at the bill and you're just like, hold on 1 second. I gotta take a better look at this one. And it's like you're looking at the fine print. You're looking at the print that is very, very thin and very, very small. And that is not emboldened. Where it's not put in bold, but however, when you read it, it becomes bold. It becomes emboldened. It becomes important. So when you read it, you're just like, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. So I read all this up here, but when I got down here, I see a sentence down here that's very small. You're hoping for me to skip this sentence? I'm not skipping this sentence. And so the person that is like, trying to hide it from you, they're like, no, that sentence is not really important. And you say, like, just by reading over here, it looks like this will allow you to take 5 grand from um, our 6 grand investment. And they're like, no. But here's the thing, they are pretty much caught in the act. They are pretty much in the place where judgment must reign on this person. So, yeah. Basically, like, if you have the self-confidence within yourself, you will have better discernment of what is ahead. Because if that occurs, that means that you might not only just win the war, but you will also win the world. You'll also win what lays ahead. Angersol said, "Oh, that's hard. Yeah, I understand. Sometimes you don't know where you stand with the person because she can't even see herself at times." Village said, so Village said, "I am back, Jay. I was at work." Totally fine, Village. You know, I'm very glad at seeing you, but I'm not gonna be like, be here or else, you know. I won't be the person that's like, trying to force you to be here or anything like that. But it is also glad to even see you, see my lovely followers and subscribers and lovely binge watchers of ours. Also, Francis said, "Yeah, Anchor, definitely." Um, so basically, in hindsight, just know that you have the ability, Aquariuses, to know what is best. You have the ability to see the above and beyond, and even to deal with those evil people that try to molest a situation. You know how to deal with them, whether if it's one way or another. Village said, "I know, Jay. Just made it home." Ankersol said, "Sending love and light and balance to France." France. France, yeah, definitely send that, but also send it to Francis and his woman. Yeah. Anyway, I did not have anybody mention any personal readings, so I'm pretty much going to close out and end this live for everybody. So I want to thank all of you for being here. And if anyone had just joined recently, Anybody that hasn't heard my mention about our channel, you can feel free to hit the like button if you really liked this live, or maybe even more than that, maybe liked our channel. Uh, Feel free to go to the subscribe button, hit that if you feel like you want to subscribe to our channel. Go to the top notification bell, and that will allow you to see whatever comes up next for our channel, and also on top of that, allows you to see what there is in the previous runs for our channel. So if any of that will ever help you in any way, shape, or form, feel free to do that. Also, there is possibly, I think, a heart button somewhere. So if you really want to hit that heart button, feel free to. That just shows me that you really loved this very, very much, that you feel like it's not only just going to help and serve you, but also help and serve many others that are out there. Also, there should be like a scroll wheel somewhere where you can hit that, or like scroll it out and like hit whatever emoji you want, to maybe show like heart emojis, smile emojis, happy emojis, whatever kind of emoji you want to put in there before our live ends. And I think maybe somewhere after our live, I think maybe that scroll wheel should be around still. So if you want to do that, you can. There's no split off from that for you guys. Do whatever you like to do on that statement there. There is also, if you feel like you want to send it to maybe a friend of yours, maybe somebody that is an Aquarius, anybody that for a fact will be a binge watcher of this channel, feel free to hit that share button and send it off to any which platform that you want, to send it to that person, either if they are a part of that channel of ours, or even as well as send it to the people that are very familiar with our channel. And then anybody who is very brand new to our community, to our channel, feel free to send it to them. So it could be any which way, shape, or form that you wish to do. But anyway, with that being said, I want to thank you very much for being here. I want to thank you very much for attending. I want to thank you very much for sending in the comments, listening in, and also as well as tuning in with what you wanted to receive about this situation. With no further ado, I thank you very much. Love and light to y'all. And before we go, I did see a comment from Village. Village said, "Jay, when will you be back for Sagi's reading, please?" I will do that one tomorrow. So be present on Thursday. For any of you that are from the EST area, the Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to be a part of that, just meet me probably somewhere within like the time range of about so not Thursday. Yeah, today's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. So Friday, which is tomorrow. Somewhere within like let's see here. Somewhere between let's see, anywhere between 12 o'clock all the way up until about 1 o'clock for our starting time. So it'll probably be like some point around noon all the way into 1 o'clock p.m. for our start time on EST. So if you want to see me around that time, feel free to, if you are a Saggy that is watching this very particular live right here. There will be other zodiacs that I'll be getting out very shortly because I know we haven't done Aries for a long time. We haven't done Gemini for a long time. We haven't done, let's see, we haven't done Libra for a long time. We have not done a Leo reading for a long time. So if you guys are from either one of those zodiacs, feel free to attend by the time that I have that live come out. It should probably be some point either next week or the week after when we get that live up. So anyway, like I said, for our ending, thank you very much for being here. Love and light. Take care. As always, peace.